Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I am your host, Tiffany Daniels, and yes, we are going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do, a few disclaimers. First off, the reason why I'm able to talk and I'm not in complete agonizing pain was I, at the very least, got a hold of some medicine last evening. And tomorrow, I plan to go to the dentist place that is kind of just catty cornered around me, heading up towards the mall. And I'm hoping against hope that they also take insurance and will just yeet that tooth the heck out of my mouth. So keep your fingers crossed for me. I don't want to have to continue to deal with this, especially while talking on the phones. All right, folks, you are going to find the link to the report we're going over right there in the description box, alongside the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, and the template, sign your name, click on your senator, and the ever-present and self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. All right, so rating implemented. That's from the one before. Let's go on. 4.4, Advance Notice of Proposed Programs Facility Change. In other words, none of the shit that answers any of the challenges or the disturbing things that were found in the New York 2006 report. Prior to any substantial change to the program or physical plant, the private school provides written notification to the department to obtain approval. The program must also provide written notification to the department of any sudden and or unexpected changes that may impact the overall health or safety of the students and or the delivery of services required by IEPs. Example of the changes include, but are not limited to, changes, e.g. increases or reductions in services or staff, including temporary staff shortages, that after the previously approved student-teacher or student-child care ratios, and or the program service delivery to students per their IEPs. If any changes occur in this area, the school must submit updated master staff roster. But we're just going to fucking ignore the fact that this school doesn't follow these kids' IEPs on every single point that actually matters, like providing them an actual education. So again, here they are, but they dot all their T's and cross all their I's, but they make those T's and those I's as vague as humanly possible. Now, don't they? Building changes that affect the care of the students, major changes in the population to be served, any alteration of the service configuration of the program, as last approved by the department, and significant changes in the program policies or procedures. Rating implemented. Response required? No. So everything's hunky-dory then? Because they dot all their T's, cross off their I's, do all their paperwork, in spite of how vague and completely uninformative that paperwork is, as proven by several DPPC reports, as well as several police reports, and let's not forget the New York 2006 report. God. This looks like more an attempt to counter the 2006 New York Department of Education report. It's PR is what it is. It's fucking PR. It's trying to gain back a lot of what JRC lost when New York went to town on them. New York State Department did their due diligence and spilled some tea. The Department of Education Massachusetts is blowing smoke up everyone's ass and trying to tell them there's no fire while, their head's on fire. 4.5 Immediate Notification. For all students, regardless of state residency, the private program makes immediate notification to the parent, the public school district, special education administrator, and any state agency involved in the student care or placement by telephone and letter, and the Department of Education by telephone phone, and Form 2. The following includes death of a student, hospitalization of student, including outpatient emergency room visits due to physical injury at school or previously unidentified illness, accident, disorder, or physical injury at school or previously unidentified illness, accident, or disorder which occurs while the student is in the program, which is probably part of the reason why they deny taking these kids to go get fucking medical care when they need it. Because they have to tell the parents every time. And the parents are going to start questioning their sorry asses if their kids are constantly in the fucking ER because these people are psychotic maniacs. Injury of a student in a motor vehicle accident. Inpatient psychiatric hospitalization of a student due to an emergency mental health crisis that occurs while the student is in the program. Administration of medication to a student in emergency situation. Yes, I'm sure you provide medicine. Oh shit. Running away of a student. Yeah, I'd fucking run away too. Emergency termination of a student, including circumstances in which the student presents a clear and present threat to the health and safety of him, herself, or others. You mean when they tattle on you, don't you? A written termination summary explaining the reasons for the emergency termination must be sent to the parents, the student, if over 14 years of age, the local administrator of special education officials of the appropriate human service agency, and the Department of Education. Filing a 51A report with DDS or complaint in the Disabled Persons Protection Commission against the school or a school staff member for abuse or neglect of a student. Yeah, we see how far those go. Any action taken by a federal, state, or local agency that might jeopardize the school's approval with the department of any legal proceedings brought against the school or employees arising out of circumstances related to the care and education of any of its students, regardless of state residency. Oh, that's a direct hit against New York, isn't it? In other words, we're coming to defend these assholes when anybody dare speak about how we treat these kids. God. 5.1 Student admissions. The private school education program may not enroll eligible students under the provisions of 603 CMR 28 unless approved to do so by the department. The program develops and implements written admissions criteria, policies, procedures that include the following: a written statement describing how copies of the school's policies and procedures are provided to the student, if applicable, parents, and placing of the school district prior to admission of the student. A statement that admissions policies and procedures are made to be available to the parents and students at any time upon request. Documentation from a licensed physician or a complete physical examination of the student not more than 12 months before admission. In event of emergency placements, the school shall make provisions for a complete examination of the student within 30 days of admission. D. A narrative description of the student's admission interview process. E. Content forms. Alright, we're going to go ahead and stop there, but it seems obvious now what they're doing with this report. This report was done not because the report New York did actually made them have some concerns and fear in regards to the student safety at this school. No. What the New York report did is scare these bastards into major PR mode. So they're going to try to counter the New York report with this garbage. But they're doing it without addressing a single fucking point that the New York report brought up. They're saying they're crossing all their T's and dotting all their I's, so that means their program is perfect. While New York systematically, analytically, and piece by piece tore down and exposed their garbage for what it was. There is no addressing of any of the issues that New York brought up. This report is a lie, ladies and gentlemen, much like the Bernstein report is. It's made to blow smoke up our asses, to make us comfortable with the JRC, to make it seem like it's not as bad as everybody says it is. This is the sort of thing that they probably use on new parents who have actually seen the news about this place. It's garbage, folks, and it's bad for you. Now, on that note, I'm going to close out for this evening. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject. And the few that we do get do tend to get removed from time to time. So, folks, please don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. Please wish me luck and that they will yeet this tooth out of my mouth. And as always, folks, we do hope you have a good one.
Bye-bye.